So the Council of Ministers of Transport of the International Transport Forum has just concluded. We have 3 new members of the organization: Dominican Republic, Oman, and Saudi Arabia. Without further ado, we've got very limited time, unfortunately. The vote went slightly over time. I will pass over to our moderator, Jari Kaupila, the head of the Secretary General's office. For translation, German, Channel 1, English, Channel 2.
Thank you, Ronan, and good day, dear colleagues from the media. We are delighted to see so many of you here today. Apologies for a slight delay, but I think it reflects the active discussion and interactions the ministers had at the closed ministerial meeting. So without any further ado, I invite Minister Marius Skuodis to take the floor and report the main outcomes of the Council of Transport Ministers meeting that just took place. Minister.
Thank you very much. So first of all, I'm really happy and at the same time a little bit relieved, as every time after having concluded something important. But first on the session itself. So I'm very pleased to welcome new members of the ITF, the Dominican Republic, Saudi Arabia, and Oman. It really testifies that ITF retains its global appeal. And this is very important to everyone here around the table and participating in this meeting. Yet, as our organization grows bigger, we will have to revert to its modus operandi, reflecting the ever-increasing number of ITF members. I'm happy that we managed to reach not so easy and not so evident decision on the so-called ECMT quota extension created in Europe and for European space. Now the ECMT system expands further afield. And I would like to thank all the member countries for reaching the consensus, which was not so easy. We also set the dates for our next year's summit meeting under the Chilean ITF presidency. The summit will take place again here on May 21st and 23rd in a year. My pleasure also to announce that the Czech Republic requested to assume the ITF presidency for the period of 26-27, which is one more testimony that we are interesting and attractive for countries and up and running, given the well-known circumstances we are all in. With all this, my huge thanks to vice presidencies, first of all, former presidency, the United Kingdom, also to my colleague, Carlos Munoz, and all those who made substantive and constructive contributions to our work over the past year. And also, my special gratitude goes to the ITF Secretariat and especially Secretary General Yang Tae Kim. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Minister Skuodis. We would like to give the floor to our new member countries. First of all, unfortunately, representatives of the Dominican Republic were not able to join us here today due to the ongoing elections in the country. However, we are very, very pleased to have Minister Saleh Al-Yasser from Saudi Arabia to provide us with a short statement.
Thank you very much. Saudi Arabia is now a permanent member of the ITF. We are very thankful to all member countries for their interest on us, and we are committed to working together with all members for sustainable and equitable transport systems. It is a very important step for us, and this is in line with the ambitions of Vision 2030, which is a comprehensive social and economic transformation program for Saudi Arabia. And we are taking important steps to increase our participation with the international community in every front for a sustainable future for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister, for your statement, and congratulations for ITF membership. Next, it's a pleasure to invite Mr. Hamoud Musabah Al-Alawi from ITF's another new member country, Oman, to provide their statement.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. President and Mr. Secretary General. And I would like to echo what His Excellency just said with regards to our gratitude and thanks for considering Oman's membership into this forum. We definitely look forward to more collaboration. We've seen sterling examples of how that actually gave fruit in many examples in the countries that we heard from. The land transport sector in the Sultanate of Oman has witnessed remarkable progress, contributing to enhanced mobility and connectivity between the various regions and areas of the Sultanate. The government has been keen to develop this sector through continuous investment in the infrastructure, be it roads, be it railway, ports, or maritime-related transport activities. We also aim to attract investment into this sector, and we will continue modernizing the assets to ensure the availability of the infrastructure to actually continue this journey. Furthermore, the government has been promoting the use of new technology and innovations in the field of green mobility and decarbonization, to mention EVs and promoting public transport and reducing the use of private cars, and also in the field of logistics services and land transport through training and capacity building and capability. All of this really depends much on the collaboration and the partnership with centers of excellence around the world, this being one of them. And we definitely look forward to capitalizing on the wealth of knowledge, benchmarks, information, innovation that this forum provides. And we commit to being active members of this forum going forward. Once again, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Al-Alami. It is now my very great pleasure to give the floor to the ITF's long-standing host country, Germany, and our home away from home for ITF, State Secretary Höppner, for a statement.
Vielen herzlichen Dank. Bitte lassen Sie mich vorab betonen, dass das
Thank you very much. Let me highlight at the very beginning that the ITF this year again plays its role as an institutionalized think tank for the sector of transport and for the transport industry as such, and has lived up to this claim. This is reflected also by the fact that we have additional member states and supporting organizations, which is also due to the Presidency and the Secretary General's work. The ITF annual topic, keeping focus in times of crisis, highlights in an excellent manner the situation with which we are confronted. We are living in a world in which the normal state is turning into an exceptional state, and the exceptional state is increasingly becoming normal. We're dealing with a large number of challenges in many areas, and the solutions are not always obvious and not always the same. We're working on digitization in transport. We are working on decarbonizing transport. We're dealing with demographic changes. All these are challenges we are confronted with, and it is worthwhile to discuss these topics in a forum like the ITF with friends and other nations. Our task is to keep people mobile and to design this mobility in a climate-friendly manner. Less mobility is not a solution, that has to be said, because mobility is an essential part of societies, and therefore it's all the more important for us that the mobility of the future be climate neutral. In Germany, we therefore not only modernize railways, but we are building a charging infrastructure for passenger cars, but also for heavy-duty trucks. We've got a carbon dioxide toll system that we have introduced, and it's important for us to be open for all technological options that might arise in the future. On our way towards becoming climate neutral, not all sectors advance at the same pace, particularly when it comes to transport. We're dealing with very specific challenges. In Germany, for the time being, we've got 45 million passenger cars with internal combustion engines running on our streets. We have to decarbonize them, and this we have to transition them to electromobility, but we also have to work with climate-neutral fuels in order to operate ICEs in a climate-neutral manner. And it's important to design this transition in a successful manner. We want to achieve climate neutrality and at the same time guarantee mobility. Over the last years, Germany has achieved its climate goals generally. Sustainable mobility will be done successfully only if we all pull together in the same direction: policymakers, academia, and the business community. And we have to do that also on an international level. We are very grateful to the ITF for having provided the necessary forum to achieve these goals. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, State Secretary, for very nice words. Let me now turn to Secretary General of ITF, Dr. Yang Tae Kim, for his reflections on the Council of Ministers just was finished.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. In fact, still we are living in a very difficult period, but this morning we managed to finalize our meetings, and we made several important decisions. And looking back on 2017, when I started my position in ITF, and I started with 59 member countries. So now today, we have 69 member countries. So over the past 7 years, we brought 10 more countries to this platform. This is really important. Growth itself is meaningful. Also, bringing more diversity. That's maybe more important, because we started from European entity, dating back to ECMT period that was created in 1953, but ITF was created in 2006. We are a very young organization. We are growing fast. We are still adolescent and going to be an adult soon. But I think from our membership perspective, 44 countries are from Europe, currently 69. And then now today we welcome 2 new members from Middle East that make 6 countries from MENA, the Middle East and North Africa. So UAE, Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Oman, and Morocco, and Tunisia. So this community is growing. I'm very happy about that. And even though we talk about the same topic, the context is always different, and we can learn from each other. So we can learn from Middle East countries, we can learn from Latin American countries. And today we also, we have new member countries from Latin America, Dominican Republic, Felicidades, new presidency of Chile, a good friend of mine, and Munoz. So I think this will really make our platform more interactive and multidimensional and more insightful. So I'm very happy about that. I'm committed to bringing more members to this platform step by step. And also Chile became official presidency of ITF over the next 1 year. But I always say this, it's not only for 1 year, because Chile already contributed to ITF over the past 2 years as the second vice presidency and first vice presidency and now presidency. So to become a leader group of ITF, at least one country has to spend 3 years serving this platform. In a peaceful period, it might be fancy or some, romantic and so on. But, since 2020, our life has completely changed. So we are all undergoing still a very difficult period. So in that sense, the Chile, also Lithuania, and it was kind of sacrifice to member countries. And sometimes extremely difficult questions faced us, but we managed to survive. So I'm looking forward to working closely with Minister Munoz, who knows a lot about ITF and great expert of ITF, so I'm happy about that. And finally, I welcome Czech Republic as the next presidency for 2025 to 2026. So that means a very good lineup of leader group in ITF, because now we have Chile coming from Latin America with the first vice presidency, Azerbaijan from Central Asia, and Czechia from Europe. So that will make a complete set of the leadership, and I think with this strong support, we can overcome any difficulty. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Secretary General. And finally, it is a pleasure to give the floor to the new ITF presidency, Chile, and Minister Juan Carlos Munoz.
Thank you very much. I would like to start thanking the work done year by ITF, headed by the Secretariat here, Mr. Kim, which allow us as a community to live as a community, and to us, Minister Skuodis always says, we look like a family that is adding new members and where diversity is very welcomed. I would like to thank also Minister Skuodis for the work that Lithuania has done during the former year on AI, and traffic safety. Traffic safety is an issue that we would like to also move ahead during the year that we will be heading the ITF. For Chile, this is a big honor. I would like to thank the trust of all the ITF countries on giving us the opportunity to lead such an important institution. For me, that I have devoted most of my work life to the transport sector, this is a really, really big honor. During the year that we will be leading ITF, we will certainly move ahead. We expect the traffic safety agenda. Road safety seems to be a very important, is of course a very important issue, especially for a continent like South America, where traffic safety is not the highest. And we would like to make progress heading for the Marrakesh meeting that is going to be happening next February. We like to learn from countries that are have similar population that us, but see much fewer of their inhabitants dying in the roads every year, and that's something we would like to adopt in countries like ours. We will also like to work during this year on the significant challenge of decarbonizing our industry. That seems to be the main challenge of our decade, and has an amazing urgency. And Chile has made a lot of progress on adopting electromobility, specifically on trains and buses more recently. Santiago de Chile is the city outside from China with more electric buses in the world, and we're very proud of this. However, I don't think we should keep or remain our focus only on changing or shifting our vehicles towards electricity, since then we would be losing the opportunity to address also other challenges that our cities face, like traffic congestion, like pollution, like noise, urban space. So I think that we need to address the challenge of decarbonizing, hopefully addressing not only electromobility, but also public transportation. How do we foster public transportation? How do we adopt more and more non-motorized transport modes, as many European countries have been doing recently? We need to learn from that experience. And very important, I think, and that's something that we usually leave behind, is the issue of how do we make our trips shorter? How can we work on our cities so that the activities are closer to where we live? And I think that's an issue that we should make us, it's a very difficult one, but I've been very excited about some of the cities saying how adopting this issue of the 15-minute city. And if we were to move in that direction, we would have cities that are not only less intense in carbon emissions, but at the same time less congested, less risky, and with a much better quality of life. So that's the topics that we would like to be working on the next year, and that's something that we will be working with the Secretariat of ITF. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister, for those remarks as well. As you all have heard, the bell has been ringing for the open ministerial meeting that has already started or is starting, and our ministers and guests are expected to be there. So unfortunately, we do not have time for questions at this point. But I do like to just make the point that there are the press releases are on the table. There's also the call to action, and the presidential statements on AI and road safety are available here in the room as well. And I invite you all to contact and speak to our colleague Rona McCarran, who will be able to provide you further media interview opportunities and set up meetings as necessary. So thank you very much for joining us for this ministerial press conference. And ministers, distinguished guests, I'd invite you outside just very briefly for a photo opportunity for the presidency handover and also for the new member countries and Germany. Thank you very much for your participation.